Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Geshe Paula as we ask him to share his insights with us. Please.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And thank you, everybody, for giving me this privilege to meet all of you, especially the younger generation. I would like to greet the special dignitaries, Bishop Dr. Pule Lhakdor, President of Shillong All Faith Forum, and is Dr. Brigadier here? Anyway, Mrs. Patricia Mukim, Padma Shri awardee and Chief Editor of the Shillong Times, and many others. I don't know who is here, who is not here. And all other dignitaries. And more important than the special dignitaries and dignitaries is the students, because you are going to become special dignitaries and dignitaries very soon, right? So as I said, it's really a great pleasure for me to come to this very beautiful place. Although I had the privilege of coming with His Holiness Dalai Lama in the vicinities of Shillong, Neo, Tizu and some other areas, but this turned out to be my first visit to Shillong. These days you can watch what is happening in Shillong on your TV screen. So before coming here, I watched what is there in Shillong. It's very beautiful. Because I am to address today's subject primarily to the students, because the learned dignitaries have nothing to learn or hear from me. So I'll try to make it a little bit fun. The topic is social, emotional, and ethical learning. I'll start by saying that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in addition to his many responsibilities, he made 4 important commitments, which are very simple, applicable to all of us. His first commitment is, look, we are all human beings. As a human being, you have a human responsibility. This is not talking about any particular religious affiliation or political affiliation or national affiliation, just as a human being. Consider all over 8 billion human population as your parents or brothers or sisters. And wherever there is a calamity, suffering, trouble, we should all, as much as possible, come out and show our solidarity as a human being. So His Holiness said, I'm a human being. I have to contribute something to everybody. This is very important, because normally we think about one's own country, one's own society, one's own nationality, not so much about the humanity. So his first commitment is towards the whole humanity. His second commitment is, he said that I am a religious person, I'm a Buddhist. Therefore, my second commitment is how to bring about religious harmony, religious dialogue. And just like His Holiness, you all have one or the other religion. So from that perspective, you should not be satisfied just with your own particular religious tradition. Whatever religious traditions you belong to, the end purpose is the whole humanity, not just one's own religious tradition. His third commitment is, he is a Tibetan. Although he has devolved his political power in 2011, but as a Tibetan, who had lost his country. The country, Tibet, still facing a lot of problems, systematic destruction, Sinicization and so forth. Therefore, His Holiness says, I have a responsibility for the Tibetans. Similarly, if you are Indian, you have responsibility to the Indians. If you are somebody from Shillong, special responsibility to the people in Shillong. Then bigger state, Meghalaya, special responsibility for this state. His fourth responsibility is preservation of ancient Indian culture. His Holiness is always saying that the spirituality, the Buddhism that I am practicing came from Buddha, who is not a Tibetan, who is an Indian. These days I tease my Indian friends, look, Buddha is Indian, not Tibetan. Thereby I am trying to draw their attention to the universal messages that is given by Buddha, which unfortunately somehow diminished in this country. So it's high time that we pay attention to this. So His Holiness says, my spirituality, that is Buddhism, came from India. My mind is fed by Indian spirituality. And he jokingly says, my body is fed by Indian dal and chapati, or dal or rice, for so many years. So basically, I am a son of India. He's not saying it, he really believes in those things. And has a great kind of appreciation to this great country because of many respects. So therefore, he feels it is high time that our Indian brothers and sisters, together with Tibetan brothers and sisters, explore the rich Indian tradition. When we talk about preserving Indian tradition, we are not talking about preserving the rituals. That's not so important. He's talking about preserving the Indian philosophical art of reasoning and the philosophy of understanding human emotions and human mind. His Holiness has very clearly said that it's only India which has this capacity to share this philosophy of reasoning and mind training to the rest of the world and go hand in hand with the scientific findings. And this is not only for Tibetans or for Indians, this is for all humanity. So these are 4 commitments. But today I'm asked to speak on social, emotional, and ethical learning, which is related to the first topic, promotion of human values, thinking about whole humanity. Now when we talk about whole humanity, there are believers, there are non-believers, there are those who are against religion. But all this sea of humanity, whose population is now over 8 billion. So this over 8 billion human population, whether they believe in religion, not believe in religion, or even anti-religion, they all want peace. They all want happiness. They all want to be good human beings. So how should you educate them? By using religion? If you use religion, which religion? And then there are others, as I mentioned, who don't believe in religion. And there are others who are against religion. So we will not be able to reach to them just through one particular religious tradition. So therefore he is talking about imparting these fundamental human values in a secular way. In a secular way. His Holiness was very encouraged to see the words secularism and socialism were incorporated by the Constitution, Indian Constitution, in its 42nd Amendment, Act 1976. Pandit Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, opted for secularism in full earnest. And what is important for us to understand is the word secularism comes from the Latin word seculum, meaning, generation, age. In other words, the real meaning is, it's the doctrine that morality should be based solely on regard to the well-being of mankind in the present life. It's not talking about God. It's not talking about future life. For this life should be based solely on regard to the well-being of mankind in the present life, to the exclusion of all other considerations drawn from belief in God and in a future state. The term was coined in the middle of the 19th century to identify such a philosophy of life. The proposed framework for a program in secular ethics in education contains basically three things. The three basic orientations. First is appreciating kindness. Second, behavioral and emotional awareness. Third, cultivating key inner values. 4, compassion, and 5, discernment. So we don't have time to explain all of this, but I'll just start by asking some very basic questions. When we meet somebody right in the morning, for example, if I say good morning, right? Individually or society, in groups, when we meet somebody, we greet them by saying good morning, right? Nobody greets each other by saying bad morning. Right? Good morning. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Just by saying good morning, the morning will not become good. Good morning is a very important teaching which does not contradict any religious teaching. It's a universal message. Good morning to everybody. When you say good morning, you will not see whether the person to whom you are saying good morning is a believer, non-believer, anti-religion. Just as a human being, you say good morning. The other person also responds by saying good morning. So then later on you say good afternoon, good evening, good night. So that means you want to be good the whole day. By extension, the whole life. So this clearly shows that you want to be good, you want to be happy, you want to be peaceful. So remember this. You may not be able to understand many of the things that I'm going to say, but remember just few things. As I said, this is primarily for the young people. When you say good morning, you remember, I have to be good. Other people also want to be good and peaceful. Then in the course of your day, whatever profession, whatever educational studies you are embarking upon, try to be good, try to be nice. Good morning, good morning, good morning is a great reminder. Second important thing that you should remember is, look at your name. Everybody has a good name, right? It may be Mary, it may be Jesus, it may be for the Tibetans, Tashipanzo, which means somebody who is auspicious and excellent and wonderful, Nobody has a name called Ghost, Kala Booth. नहीं है ना किसी का नाम अच्छा है ना? जितना आपका नाम अच्छा है, उतना आपका कर्म भी अच्छा होना चाहिए. नाम भगवान का, काम शैतान का, वो कभी भी नहीं होना चाहिए. In Buddhism, when important teachers like His Holiness the Dalai Lama gives a very high tantric empowerment, then there is a section in that process of empowerment where you are given a name. It's a very special name for that occasion. Then the teacher says, you should think as soon as you hear this great name, you should imagine that your mind is filled with bliss and peace and happiness. Right? So similarly, you should live a life matching the name. If you are unable to live a life matching the name, I think you should change your name. Become a robber or dacoit or something like that. Right? So whenever somebody calls your name, you should be happy, this is my name. My compassionate parents had given me this name, so I should try my best. You will fail occasionally, that's okay. But you should think that I should live a life matching this beautiful name given my parents or whosoever. This is secular ethics. And the main subject matter of secular ethics is, you should imagine all humanity. You should imagine all humanity as completely sane. After the birth of the child, what is the first thing that the child does? जन्म होने के बाद सर्वप्रथम काम जो बच्चा करता है वो क्या है? हाँ? Crying, right? ऐसा एक भी बच्चा नहीं है, whether the child is from China or from Tibet or from America. I don't think there's even a single child who the first thing that the child does after birth is laughing. If the first thing that the child does is laughing, then people might say, oh, this must be incarnation or avatar or क्या हो गया इसको? Unnatural. Cry तो होना चाहिए आपको. The nurses, what they do, after the birth, if the child doesn't cry, they give a slap on the hip, so that by crying, the child is able to breathe. है ना? So now that cry, which is the first language of the child, because the child does not have any developed language at that time. So by crying, which is its only language, the child is asking for something. What do you think the child is asking? Huh? What? Yeah, pesa. Chocolate. So what do you think the child is asking? Huh? Water. Mother. Listen carefully. One thing that I'm 100% sure is the child is not asking for a lengthy teaching on Buddhism. I'm 100% sure. Similarly, any other religion. That's why His Holiness is talking about this secular ethics. The first thing that the child is asking is somebody's love. Somebody said mother, which is embodiment of love. The first thing the child is asking is for love. And the love that the child is asking is also unconditional love. Because the child has nothing to give back at that time. He came into this world even without clothes, even without teeth, even without hair. Nothing. Totally helpless. So what he wanted was somebody's unconditional love, which comes primarily from the mother and then others, father or others also. Unconditional love. This is important. Please remember this. The love that we give when we are grown up to your husband, to your brother, to your sister, unfortunately, many a times is conditional love, not unconditional love. Especially young people, they say, oh, I love you so much. Without you, I will die. बोलता है ना ऐसे बोलता है नहीं बोलता है? Am I exaggerating? होता है ना ऐसे बोलता है ना? So the child is, so when we are grown up, then the love that we are, the so-called love that we are talking about is basically business love. You love me? So long as you love me, I love you. So long as you don't love me, divorce. यही तो हो रहा है ना, नहीं हो रहा है? यही तो हो रहा है ना दुनिया में. बिजनेस चल रहा है ना आजकल ज़्यादातर. एंड वैल्यू भी किस चीज़ में वैल्यू है? वैल्यू इज ऑल्सो प्राइमरीली विद मनी. मनी हैज़ वैल्यू, हाउस हैज़ वैल्यू, डॉलर हैज़ वैल्यू, योर कार हैज़ वैल्यू. Human beings, not much value. This is the tragedy of the modern century. That's why there's a need for people like His Holiness to talk constantly about the human value. Because if this human value is gone, no amount of material prosperity, no amount of false friendship will help you or save you from this tragedy. Look at today's situation. You know, in India, we had a very heavy monsoon everywhere. And everybody is blaming, oh, kya ho gaya, is saal mein itna barish ho raha hai. Rukta hi nahi, thamne ka naam hi nahi le raha hai, kya ho raha hai? We are blaming the rain, we are blaming the nature. We are not blaming the people who are in power, who have the responsibility, who should have constructed the road much earlier, who should not have allowed people to build their houses near a big dam. Because there is no sense of responsibility. तो मरने वाला मर रहा है. This is the tragedy. So I'll ask you some challenging questions for your later thinking. Right now, the human population is over 8 billion, right? So what I'm going to say is, when we talk about the need for this human values or the importance of social emotional learning, we need to do few things. One, there should be awareness, there should be knowledge, not just information. Today, almost everybody has a mobile phone and supposed to be getting information, right? And we proudly call this age of information. But unfortunately, much of the information that you thought you got is junk information. है कि नहीं है? क्या मिल रहा है इस information जो आप search कर रहे हैं, क्या मिल रहा है आपको? सब junk information है, distraction. खोने के लिए, पाने के लिए नहीं है, खोने के लिए, सब खोया हुआ है. बाहरी की दुनिया में खोया हुआ है, अंदर खली है. तभी तो ये बीमारी हो रहा है, सब कुछ गलत हो रहा है, अंदर कुछ नहीं है. अंदर से बाहर चला गया, दुनिया घूमने चला गया, अंदर का जो मकान है वो सड़ रहा है. Right? So therefore, you need to do 3 things. Don't go after junk information. You have obtained this very precious human life. Very precious human life. In Christianity, this is called crown of creation, human beings. In Buddhism, we call it precious human life. So can you afford to waste this precious human life by searching the junk mail, by making your mind a junk box? And I'm really sorry to say that even the so-called big news channels are primarily share this junk information, unfounded junk information with political affiliations and things like that. तो उसको देखकर आपको क्या मिलेगा? कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So try to get, number 1, right information, not wrong information. Don't waste your time on wrong information. Get the right information. More important than the right information is knowledge. More important than the knowledge is wisdom. Let me elaborate this. Information is like reading several books about how to build a ship, which is good. You get a lot of information how to build a ship, but that doesn't mean you are able to build a ship. So second thing important is knowledge. Based upon those information, if you have the knowledge, you will be able to build a ship. That's a big progress. But having built a ship, there's no guarantee that you will be able to use this ship in the right purposes. So you need wisdom that will ensure that the ship does not sink. This is the problem today. A lot of junk information, incorrect knowledge, and no wisdom at all. No sense of universal responsibility. That's why we are sinking. This being the case, I'm going to give you some challenges. For example, as I mentioned, today's human population is over 8 billion, right? अब झटका लगने वाला है, थोड़ा संभाल के बैठना, ठीक है? I'm joking to the young people, over 8 billion. All this over 8 billion human population are dead after 100 years counting from today. आज से गिन के जो over 8 billion human population है वो सब मर जाएगा. Am I right or wrong? हाँ? झटका लगा? झटका लगा? Did you get some shock? Shock चाहिए. If you know the reality, it will be shocking, but it will be therapeutic. Many years back, I was in British Columbia University in Canada. I was invited to give some talks, so I happened to be in the campus for over 1 month. So I hardly speak. Students also, I was the only clumsy, almost like extraterrestrial human being with this clumsy clothes, you know. Everybody just quietly looks at me. Nobody dares to approach me and talk to me. It went like that. Around the end of my stay, few students ventured out and asked me, will you be able to give a small talk telling us about you, what you represent, things like that? I said, yes, okay. Then I said, the topic of my talk will be shock therapy. Meaning that what I'm going to tell is bitter truth, karwa sach. So right now in your young age, you may not like to listen to this. It may be a little bit shocking, but don't shy away from accepting the reality. When you accept the reality, then you will find the way to cure the possible adversities that is going to come. So therefore I'm saying, and this is exactly what the Buddha taught. The first teaching that he gave after enlightenment. After enlightenment, when the Buddha was asked to give the teaching, he said, no, the knowledge that I found, the wisdom I found is very profound, very vast, nobody will understand it. Mujhe akela बैठने दो. Don't disturb me. आजकल के जो टीचर हम जैसे लोग ऐसा नहीं है घोषित करते हैं कि मैं बहुत विद्वान है मैं टीच करूँगा ऐसा नहीं करता बुद्धा. He never said things like that. He said it is very profound, and this is exactly what he said. What I found was profound, peaceful, free from fabrication, clear light, unconditioned. To whomever I teach it, nobody will understand. So let me rest in peace. Let me do my meditation. Then people and the celestial beings requested him to give the teaching again and again. And then finally when he gave the teaching, his teaching is about the Four Noble Truths, which means there is suffering, suffering as a cause. There is happiness, happiness as cause. So if you want happiness, cultivate the cause. If you don't want suffering, eliminate the cause of suffering. And when he taught this first of the Four Noble Truth, which is truth of suffering, he explained it with impermanence. Impermanence, including death. So he was saying that unless you have a clear understanding of this, how transient, fleeting, impermanent this life is, you will not make a move. You will only plan to stay. मकान भी लेना है, घड़ी भी लेना है, स्विमिंग पूल भी अगर जगह होगा तो स्विमिंग पूल भी लेना है, बैठने के लिए आप तैयार करोगे. I'm not saying you don't enjoy, but what I'm saying is you enjoy but should understand the reality. Right? So that's why, in tune with the Buddha's teaching, I'm saying that this over 8 billion human population which we have right now will be dead after 100 years. That is in general. That doesn't mean I will live 100 years. Now you should think about yourself as an individual, how long you are going to live. I'm already over 70. So that means if I'm lucky, maybe another 10 years. Extremely lucky, another 20 years. अब क्या करेंगे? What are you going to do? What you've done? 70 years ने क्या किया आपने? वो तो चला ही गया. ठीक किया तो थोड़ा rejoice. Otherwise it's gone. Now बाकी का जो है जीवन है 10-20 years. What are you going to do? This is the point. Will you only think about making money, paisa, 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 paisa? पैसा चाहिए, लेकिन सब कुछ पैसा नहीं है, right? सब कुछ पैसा नहीं है. So therefore, social emotional learning. That means at the end of the day, one thing that will protect you, save you in this life, and if you're a believer in the future lives, something that will save you for many lives to come is your inner qualities, inner life. Compassion, love, harmony, respect, universal sense of responsibility. If these things are there, the good news is these inner qualities, if you develop, if you become a patient person, tolerant person, compassionate person, loving person, altruistic person, these inner qualities nobody will steal from you. Nobody can rob it from you. The external material accumulations, you may be today very, very rich, tomorrow you might become pauper. I don't have to come with examples, there are so many examples. Even here in Shillong, I heard many stories like that. So I'm not saying you should not have material facilities, but I'm making a comparison, which one is more valuable. In my own case, I'm not saying I'm special, of course I'm nobody. But in my own case, because of His Holiness's teaching, because of the environment, of the Tibetan people and so forth, I'm stupid, really basically stupid. I never had this, ingenuity or cleverness to make money and this and that, but somehow I'm survived. I did my best in my school, studied hard, then in monasteries also studied hard, never worked, not because I'm good, as I said, because of my stupidity, never, worked. I got, long time back, probably I was one of the first person to be able to go to America. And in those days, if you ask for a visa, they, without second thought, they give you 10 years multi-entry visa. The stupid as I am, I came back all the time. Went to America, came back all the time. But now, interestingly, it turned out to be good for me, because I'm able to preserve some of this really, really precious Tibetan cultural heritage, which is a universal cultural heritage, which talks about how to regulate your emotion, which talks about how to be a kind person, good person. Not only, you should not become selfish and things like that. So all this had some impact on my life, and similarly on the life of many who follow those teachings. And that made the Tibetan refugees also survive in a difficult situation. You know how difficult it is to be a refugee in another country? Although, of course, our host country, India, is extremely, kind and nice, but still, you have this refugee identity. And you have hurdles here and there, so many problems. But still, because of His Holiness, a good leader like His Holiness Dalai Lama, and then Tibetan culture of love and compassion, integrity, we have managed to survive and flourish to a great extent. So therefore, it is the responsibility of all of us. The Tibet is based on their experience. Then, of course, our Indian brothers and sisters, because of the fact that you had inherited that great Indian cultural heritage, I think it is high time that you study those relevant. I'm not talking about just going back, because many young people might think, oh, kya bol raha hai, ye kya bakwas kar raha hai. बोलता है ना आजकल कई लोग बोलते हैं ये क्या बोल रहा है, आजकल का ज़माना बदल गया है, क्या बोल रहा है गुरुजी, आजकल तो मोबाइल का ज़माना है, टेक्नोलॉजी का ज़माना है, ये अब वैल्यू क्या बोल रहा है, ऐसा सोच सकते हैं आप लोग. You might think like, but believe me, if you don't have these inner values, you will get big problem very soon. Your family will get problems, society will get problems, nation will get problems. I mean, look at what is happening in the world. The Ukraine-Russian war, the Israel-Palestinian war, right? So many places. And people are inventing so many destructive weapons, including nuclear warheads, to kill people. And the Buddhist teaching says, you don't have to kill people, they will die. दूसरों को मारने की जरूरत है, वो अपना आप मर जाएगा। तो मरने के लिए हम लोग बोल रहे हैं, जीवन देने के लिए कम कुछ नहीं कर। Hardly anything positive is happening. So therefore, this in today's world, in today's century, when everybody is running towards material accumulation, everybody today says, I'm busy, right? Is it important to be busy? Is it important to be busy? Please answer. Don't just smile. Is it important to be busy? Today everybody says, I'm busy, right? Is it important to be busy? Huh? Huh? Not always. It is not important to be busy. What is important is, what are you busy about? व्यस्त होना कोई खास बात नहीं है। खास बात यह है कि किस चीज में तुम व्यस्त हैं। बेफिजूल की चीज में व्यस्त होने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। So today most of the people are busy for not so important things. For important things, people are not busy. For helping mankind, people are not busy. For destroying human beings, people are busy. बंदूक बना रहा है, न्यूक्लियर बम बना रहा है, busy. Arms stockpiling हो रहा है, busy. Right? Right? So therefore, in today's world, when you are totally attracted by the material marvels, and your inner values are either not there or depleting, therefore we have all these problems all over the world. So how are you going to solve all these problems in the world? There are many. You should one day make a study what are the problems of the world. आपके आस-पास में, पड़ोसी में corruption है कि नहीं है? Corruption है नहीं है? Corruption is a cancer है ये. It will kill the country, it will kill the society. अभी हुआ था नेपाल में. बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा था वो लोग. यहाँ का generation not able to tolerate it anymore. The so-called people on the highest pedestal, they are just completely sunk in corruption. क्या हो रहा है? Bribe, corruption. So secular ethics basically means to do away with this corruption, to do away with this bribery. And people on the high stage, people who are on high post, they have enough money. कितना चाहिए आपको? If you think carefully, we are in a miserable condition. Some of the so-called leaders. आपके पास पेट कितना है? कितना भी अमीर तुम क्यों ना बन जाए, आपके पास पेट तो एक ही है ना, कितना खा सकेगा तुम? And in fact, the law of nature is the more you become rich, the more you will not be able to eat. मुझे ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए, गर्म पानी दे दो. This is the law of nature. So don't try to go against the law of nature. Therefore, I'm really very thankful to the law of nature, because it's at the end of the day, it is law of nature which will give you justice. All these dictators living today in the world, their days are numbered. सदा के लिए वो जी नहीं सकता है, मर जाएंगे. वो सोचता है ना कि उसका ट्रम्प भी और फट बढ़ा दिया, and they are trying to live forever, rule forever. हो नहीं रहा है ना. Law of nature is there. Cause-effect relationship हम लोग बोलते हैं, कर्म और फल. उसे कोई, nobody can cheat that. So therefore, it's really important. If Meghalaya is to make progress, if Shillong is to make progress, you need this social, emotional, ethical learning. You need to understand the meaning of human life. Live harmoniously, help each other, and make Shillong proud. Make Meghalaya proud. Make Meghalaya strong. And when I was on the way from Guwahati to here. Such a beautiful place. Be happy about this such beautiful place. And it is highly important that we inculcate this fundamental, basic good human values in the mind of the young people. Today in many developed countries, people are suffering from depression, suffering from loneliness, suffering from low self-esteem. Why? They have material facilities. Still they are suffering. Divorce rate in some of the developed countries are so high. What's happening? Because there is nothing inside. Nothing inside. So I'm telling you, if you don't cultivate these inner values, you will be the one who will suffer tremendously. There's nothing to do with religion. Life is short. Jindagi kuch bhi nahi hai. Life is short. Make this short life meaningful. Don't waste your life spending all your thinking about what happened in the past. Thoda kuch socho, so that you can learn a little bit, but don't waste your time thinking about what has happened in the past. Don't waste your time thinking about future. You can make some plan, but don't. Abhi nagad hai ye. This is, others are check, check might bound, But today, enjoy today. Be happy, help each other. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the weather. Be kind. Tomorrow also like that. And then at the time of death, you have nothing to regret. Whether you call yourself as a religious believer or not believer, that's not important. What is important is you lead a good life, which basically, contains all the messages from all the religious traditions. Right? So, what you need to do is, don't get obsessed with oneself alone. Release this obsession with oneself alone. Think a little bit more about others. मेरा ऐसा करने से इनके ऊपर क्या प्रभाव होगा, इनको तकलीफ होगा नहीं होगा, सब कुछ सोचना चाहिए. And with the small things you can make other people happy. At the airport, when I was waiting at the Delhi airport, there was two ladies sitting in front of me, a very senior lady. There's one Mataji, quite senior. So she was coughing. She was coughing very loudly. I just took one nice sweet, which is almost like cough syrup, and give it to her. This is nothing for me. That makes a connection that other people care about us. Small things like that, just a kind smile, will not only bring sunshine in other people's mind, but also bring happiness in your life. This is the meaning of human life. It's a law of nature. Right? So therefore, the purpose of human life is happiness. Happiness comes not just from money. From money you will get pleasure, not happiness. Pleasure is of the senses, happiness is of the mind. Therefore in Buddhism and many other religions, they talk about contemplation, meditation, going deeper, be with oneself. So today's major problem is we don't know how to live with others and also don't know how to live alone. Big problem, you don't know how to live with others. If you want to live with others, be kind, be nice, be harmonious. If you are not able to do that, then become a sadhu, live alone. वो भी नहीं कर सकता हम लोग. Many people, they come to me and ask me, Geshe, are you living alone? Because I give this kind of teaching all the time. So they say, Geshe, are you really happy? Yes, I am happy. Why? Because I have food to eat and place to sleep. But don't you live alone? Yes, I live alone. Still you are happy. This is what people think, you can't be happy if you are living alone. Physically living alone doesn't mean you are alone. Physically you are alone, mentally you are with everybody, think about everybody. And people who don't know how to do this, they may be living in a big city like Delhi, over 20 million, but there are people suffering from loneliness. this is not so much about physical, unity or isolation. It's mental isolation, right? So therefore, now, Rajiv, Simsama. So I will stop my bagwas. So if you have some interesting questions. So at the end, I must say, be happy. Happiness is not so much about money. Happiness is appreciating things that you have. ठीक है ना? एक बार मैं मॉस्को में I was giving a public talk and I was again speaking something like this. Then there is an elderly Russian lady. She got up and said, Geshe-la, your talk is good, but I am elderly Russian lady living alone, so how can I be happy? Then I said, I'm sorry if you're living alone, but I see you have both eyes. उसने देखा, you also have both the hand. वो भी है. You also have both the legs. वो भी है. तो सोचो, दुनिया में in today's world, how many people are there who are without eye, who are without legs, who are without hand? So you are having the hand, eye and leg intact. Why don't you appreciate this? Be happy. आँख देख सकता है, पाँव चल रहा है, हाथ फैला सकता है, सब कुछ कर सकता है ये होने से, है ना? So therefore, be happy. Then my last conclusion, especially for the younger generation, is never ever think that you are somebody who don't have the capacity. You are the only true original copy in this whole world. Only true original copy, each of you. अब फोटोकॉपी नहीं है आप, ओरिजिनल कॉपी आपका जैसा एक भी नहीं है दुनिया में. इसका मतलब क्या है? आपके पास ऐसी विशेषता हैं जो किसी के पास नहीं है. You need to explore that special quality that you have. It may be in any field. You have a special talent, you have a special quality. Just take that out. Education means not just getting, but taking what you have out. नकल नहीं करना हमने, सिर्फ नकल करके जाना नहीं है, फोटो को भी नहीं बनाना है हमने, right? So take that good capacity, special talent that you have, take that out, use it, you will shine. Thank you.